Ciao and welcome to The Sweetest Kind of Deaths, Chapter 11. This week we're discussing the illusion of competition without brotherhood. By the time I started 7th grade, we had already moved to the city of Palms in West LA. During that time, my parents had opened up Research and Education Center of Persian Language, which we call RECPL for short. It was the first Persian library outside of Iran. Books and culture controlled my family's life by day, and basketball and sweat controlled mine by night. And in that mix of language and layups, I met Coach Steve. He was my coach, but quickly became more than that. He was a mentor. He was a drummer, but he was also a basketball player himself. He wasn't just teaching me how to run plays. He was teaching me how to run life. At first, to me, basketball was competition. Who's taller, who's faster, who can take the last shot. I wanted to prove myself. I wanted to win, to dominate. That's what I thought that the game was for. But Steve showed me something different. He taught me that basketball was less about the scoreboard and more about the bonds you create on the court. That a great team wasn't just about 5 players trying to outscore 5 others. It was a brotherhood built on trust, sacrifice, and unselfishness. This was where the color of your skin or the value of your home didn't matter, but your will to work with others under one common goal did. I remember the nights of pickup games, sometimes even without the lights, sometimes long after practices had ended, when it was just us and the sound of the ball echoing in an empty gym. Those nights weren't about points. They were about becoming part of something bigger than myself. And in those games, I learned that competition without brotherhood is hollow. Winning alone is a lonely victory. But winning together, or even losing together, can build bonds that last a lifetime. So, where is the reflection or the mirror of this story this week? You've probably lived inside this illusion too. You've been told that competition is all about beating the other person, about crushing your rivals, about outshining your colleagues, about proving that you're better. But competition without brotherhood or sisterhood is empty. If it may bring you trophies, but it won't bring you any connections. And connections are what sustain you long after the scoreboard is forgotten. Think about it. The victories that you remember aren't the ones where you stood alone. They're the ones where you stood with others, your teammates, your friends, your mentors, and you felt the shared heartbeat of striving something together. So, how does love reframe the competition in this way? When I look at leadership through stewardship, leaders don't just chase wins, they steward people. Coach Steve didn't measure success by points, but by players growing into men. Opportunity through creativity. When you look at competition, competition creates opportunity when it sparks creativity, not selfishness. When you look at vision that unites, a vision of brotherhood or sisterhood turns opponents into teachers and teammates into family. And ultimately, when you look at empowerment, which will lead to enrichment, empowerment is hitting the shot. Enrichment is passing the ball so that a team grows stronger. And when you look at the bank of time and trust, selfish victories, they don't deposit much. Brotherhood or sisterhood does. Brotherhood builds equity that compounds for decades. Steve and I have been friends for 30 plus years. Steve's investment in me wasn't a trophy. It was a lifelong relationship. And I'm proud that he's still a part of my life, not only as my coach, but my friend after all these years. So, what's the practical reflection of this week? This is your mirror. Where in your life are you competing alone? Where are you chasing wins at the cost of connection? Where are you treating your rivals as enemies instead of your teachers? Competition without brotherhood will drain you. Brotherhood within this competition will build you. So here's your kill move or your exercise for this week. And please, I know it might be tough, but try to do it in 48 hours. Step 1, identify one area in your life where you're competing. So work, sports, business, even family dynamics. Step 2, reframe it and ask yourself, how can this competition become brotherhood? How can I grow connection here instead of creating isolation? And step 3, within the next 48 hours, take one leap or one step and share this knowledge with a rival. Uplift a teammate. Reach out to a peer, not just as competition, but as family. And step 4, I want you to again record this as a deposit in your bank of time and trust, because brotherhood is capital that never gets devalued. And the closing candle for this week, the greatest victory is not over others, but with others. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Ciao.